captainless in the capital, Inter Miami dominates without Lionel Messi against DC United.
A thriller in Detroit ends in a game winner for the Miami Heat from beyond the arc.
And FIU hunts down a conference tournament win in Huntsville to start March Madness. All of this and more on the sideline.
Hello, South Florida, and welcome to the Sideline, the place where you get all the highlights for your South Florida teams. I'm Jamie Nunez.
And I'm Nicolette Esper, and the Sideline starts now. As the MLS season rolls on, Inter Miami made the trip to Washington, D.C. without Lionel Messi to play D.C. United.
Sideline's Esteban Rodriguez has more on the match.
In an electrifying matchup over the weekend, Inter Miami showcased their resilience as they faced DC United without their star player, Lionel Messi. As Inter Miami faced off against DC United, both teams were eager to claim victory. DC United struck first in the 14th minute with Jared Stroud delivering a powerful strike past the Inter Miami goalkeeper, setting the tone for the fiercely contested match. Just 10 minutes later, Inter Miami responded with an equalizer, courtesy of Leonardo Campana. Despite initially being denied on a header, Campana displayed remarkable determination, finding the back of the net with a left-footed shot from the center of the box. With the game finally balanced and all tied up, Luis Suarez, brought on as a substitute, made an instant impact in the 72nd minute. A perfectly timed feed from Campana allowed Suarez to capitalize on a scoring opportunity, giving Inter Miami the lead. Suarez wasn't done yet though. In the 85th minute, he delivered a sublime lofted ball that sailed past the DC United goalkeeper, extending Inter Miami's lead and sealing their victory. Despite DC United's valiant efforts, they were unable to overcome Inter Miami's resilience and determination, ultimately conceding defeat to a formidable opponent. Inter Miami will head to New York to play the NY Red Bulls on Saturday, March 23rd at 2 p.m. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Esteban Rodriguez.
The Heat swept the Pistons in Motor City this weekend. Duncan Robinson could not miss all weekend in his former home of Michigan, becoming the fastest player to reach 1,000 career threes behind a 30-point outing. But the biggest three of the night went to Bam Adebayo, who sunk in a buzzer beater to ice the game. The final score being Heat 104, Detroit 101. Heat will face the 76ers tonight with playoff implications on the line.
The battle in Sunrise for the Florida Panthers ended with a shocking fall to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa opened up the scoring with 20 seconds in, with Steven Stamkos as the Lightning opened up a 3-goal lead by the second period. The third straight game the Panthers have been down by that deficit. While Sam Reinhart put it in 2 goals to spark a comeback, the Cats fell short for the second game in a row. The final score was Tampa Bay 5, Panthers 3. Florida has a chance to redeem themselves when they play the Nashville Predators on Thursday.
Taking place this past week in Huntsville, Alabama, was the Conference USA Tournament at the Von Braun Arena. The FIU men's basketball team took a surprising turn, beating 8th seed Jacksonville State, which allowed them to advance to the quarterfinals. Sideline's Kamora Miller was on the scene and has more to share about their experience.
FIU Hoops is here at the Conference USA Tournament in Huntsville, Alabama. FIU Hoops beat Jacksonville State, the 8th seed, and now advances to play against Sam Houston, the top seed.
The FIU men's basketball team took the arena by storm as they beat the odds, winning the first round for the Conference USA Tournament as the last place seed. Game 1 had a lot of energy from the sidelines, helping the boys rise up to the competition, drop jaws, and secure the win.
Honestly, I'm really proud of what they've accomplished this season. They made it really far. It's been a long time since we made it to the second round, so I think that in itself is a big accomplishment, and they should be really proud. And they fought to the end, so honestly, I thought it was a good game, and there's always next year.
Rumor has it, it's the first time in 9 years where the FIU men's basketball team advances to the quarterfinals. However, unlike round 1, many things took a turn. Energy was held until the last half, but it wasn't enough to catch up to the Sam Houston Bearcats.
Last game was crazy. I had no voice screaming. I mean, they played really well. They played hard. They were very locked in. They definitely brought that excitement here. but last game was way just more hype. Everybody was really, really on it. Everybody was locked in. That game was great. I didn't notice a lot of variety in the plays, nor in the players that they were kind of like trying to push as the one taking the ball. So I feel like variety is what they need for next season, which would probably lead them to a lot better of a season.
Plays have been made and cheers have been done here at the Von Braun Arena in Huntsville, Alabama. FIU Hoops is proud to represent the 305 and keeps their head held high for their next season. I'm Kamora Miller reporting from Caplin News.
Though the FIU men's and women's teams had very different regular seasons, both got knocked out in the quarterfinal. We have studio analyst Anthony Cruz here to tell us what's next for both Panther squads.
Thank you, Jamie. And honestly, I think to start with the men's team, I think their games against Jacksonville State and Sam Houston were like a perfect snapshot of their season. When you play through a guy like Arturo Dean, you have to live and die through his play style. And when you went, again, we knew what this team was capable of all year, that they were capable of doing what they did against Jack State in the quarterfinal. And again, what you needed besides Dean, when you have a guy who can score 20, but also leads the nation in steals, but also leads the nation in turnovers. It's an up or down, and you need spacing. Right. So when you had big threes from Pedar Kaprakovic, when you had big threes from Jaden Litscomb, that's honestly what pushed them over the edge. When you had Seth Pinkney actually being a factor on the offensive end, that's what pushed them over the top. But then you saw them go back down to earth with Sam Houston, and you saw the team that we saw unfortunately for the majority of the year, right? The team that likes to attack the paint, very athletic. Jaden Brewer had a very good tournament as well. Yeah. A team that cannot really space the floor, a team that looks very disorganized on the offensive end, and defensively, again, just a team against Sam Houston, just not talented or not just versatile enough to handle a team like Sam Houston.
Okay. And coming off of that, we also have the women's FIU basketball team. They were, third in the seed. Now they got bumped out in the first round. What does this mean? What does this look like? How did this happen?
I mean, New Mexico State had their number, right? You saw them beat them at home in the last game of the season, and then also go back. We thought, that FIU was going to make a long run, right? That the women's team was going to make a long run. Like the New Mexico State game in the tournament would be just a get right game, and we could keep on going, get them over with, get the redemption win, and keep on going. But no, New Mexico State had their number. I think New Mexico State, the reason why people very much wrote them off is because their numbers are misleading. I think their identity as a team is that they're a very good defensive team, right? But at the end, they're very good. They'll stifle you. You'll have your lowest scoring game of the season against them. But the sneaky thing is that they had two players in their backcourt, Jayla Harding and Molly Kaiser, who are electric, some of the best three-point shooters in conference play. And you mix that with a versatile big man like Fanta Gassama, who is very comfortable playing on top of the key, very comfortable running high screen and roll, then you're good. Then FIU was overwhelmed, and they just couldn't defend that. And on top of the fact they couldn't get anything going offensively, it just spelled trouble for them.
Yeah, well, the FIU Panthers did share a pair of L's this weekend, but now's the point where we share our biggest W's for this weekend, Anthony. Anthony, we'll start with you. What was your biggest W for this weekend?
Going back, I know we already talked about it, but Bam Adebayo, three-point shooter, Bam Adebayo now.
That's right.
And I think more than to talk about the game winner, which is, we already talked about on the show, fantastic, but I think more just highlights Bam throughout his 7-year career. Every single year he's gotten better. Every single year he's added a little wrinkle to his game that makes him even more versatile, right? He started, Spoelstra gave him more responsibilities on, playmaking and organizing the offense, and then now he started bringing up the ball by himself and just full on running the offense by himself. And we saw years, okay, he needs to start extending his range. He started at the mid-range, and now he's a very good mid-range shooter. That's a cut shot he's comfortable in. And well, now if the three-pointer comes, I think it's looking scary for the league.
Bam is really a sight to see, 100%. My biggest W is gonna have to be to the Inter Miami underdogs this past weekend, as they were without the captain Lionel Messi, but they still managed to come out on top against DC United. Nikki, what was your biggest W this weekend?
My biggest W is going back to New York. It's New York versus New York. We had New York Rangers and New York Islanders on the ice. New York Rangers took the dub with 5-2. Igor had 25 saves for the game. Great game all around. They are now tied with the Florida Panthers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anthony, what was your biggest L this week?
Well, for my biggest L, I'll go across the coast. lost to a California matchup that was very marquee but was ruined by, again, we know, like, this is a problem with NBA games, that the final 2 minutes of very, like, big games that it's anticipated always end up being 20 minutes of replays and reviews. But, you know, again, I'm talking about the finals of the final 2 minutes of the Golden State versus Lakers game that was not only delayed because they not only did one but two reviews in one possession that they took way too long. LeBron's foot was on the line. It was obvious. You could have kept on going. But then the shot clock was broken. And again, big marquee matchup in the, sorry, not Staples Center, Crypto.com arena, and you can't get it right. LeBron versus Steph, and it unfortunately gets ruined by a 19-minute delay. The Lakers don't really get that momentum back, and the Warriors run away with it.
Yeah, that really was unfortunate circumstance right there. But my biggest L for this week, unfortunately, has to go to the Miami Heat's Tyler Hero. I know he's nearing a return, but hearing that he had to get a shot in his foot, you know, to help accelerate, you know, the healing process, just really, you know, didn't resonate well with me personally. So unfortunately, that's going to be my biggest L for this week. I hope you get well soon, Tyler.
Yeah, I hope he does get well. That sounds painful.
Yeah.
My biggest L of the week is actually going to be the Brooklyn Nets. Once again, New York team. One of my New York teams are doing great. Another one, you know, always got to be one. They played the San Antonio Spurs this past week, and Wemby shut them down. The Brooklyn Nets had 33 points. Wemby had 33 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and 7 blocks. I think a big issue here is that they have Cam Thompson, and they're just like passing him up and just letting him sit on the bench. You know, he's a good player, and I just feel like they need to have confidence in him, and I think that's where he'll show up and be able to, you know, pull it through for his team. So right now we're gonna take a break, and so here's what's next on the sideline. Sideline hit the tennis courts as the Miami Open started this past weekend, and we knocked down picks for the South Florida sports. We'll take a timeout and see you after the break.
Once again, South Florida takes the spotlight of the sporting world this morning as the Miami Open kicks off at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens.
We're joined by Kaplan News reporter Samantha Gutierrez, who was live earlier this morning to provide insight into this week's action.
Yeah, I'm here at the Hard Rock, where they actually have 27 courts set up for this 2-week tournament, but the public does not have access to it yet. The first tickets are for Wednesday, when the men's and women's first round kicks off at 11 a.m.
The Miami Open is one of 9 WTA 1000 tournaments, which carries a lot of weight in the global rankings. This mandatory tournament will have 128 players. The tournament, presented by Itaú, has $8 million in prize money and awards ranking points players can earn depending on where the run ends. So the champion will earn $1,100,000 in prize money and 1,000 points. And the finalist will earn $585,000 and 650 points. Ticketing for the first round on Wednesday starts at $25, with every day becoming more expensive than the last, so the end game tickets start at $130. The different events, foods, and activities give the festival atmosphere and a complete entertainment experience.
The women's draw was announced yesterday, and the men's draw will be announced today. And the order of the play-by-play will be announced as the days go on, the nights before the tournaments. For more information, visit the Miami Open website. Live from Miami Gardens, Samantha Gutierrez, Kaplan News.
Now it's time for our predictions for this week's slate of games, starting with the Miami Heat. Currently 37-20 on a 2-game win streak. Miami does play the Philadelphia 76ers. Nikki, who do you think wins tonight?
I think this is a toss-up game. I think I'm just going to go and vote the Heat for this one. I think the 76ers are behind or trailing the Heat, so yeah.
Okay, I have the 76ers losing in this match, and the Miami Heat actually do play the Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday, as well as the New Orleans Pelicans on Friday. There was a scuffle a few weeks back with Jimmy Butler and the Pelicans. I'm sure Miami Heat fans can remember that. Who do you have the Miami Heat losing or winning against the Cavaliers or the Pelicans?
Yeah, so I think they're gonna take the win for the 76ers, probably win on the Cavaliers, and then Pelicans, where I think the toss-up's going to be fun to watch.
I do agree myself. I think the Miami Heat take care of business this week. Up next is going to be the Florida Panthers, currently 45-19 on a 2-game losing streak. They do go against the Nashville Predators on Thursday, and then your New York Rangers on Saturday, and the Philadelphia Flyers come Sunday. Nikki, who do you got this week for the Cats?
Florida Panthers, easily, they have been showing up this season. The Predators, I think they're going to take this win. I'm going to obviously vote biased on the New York Rangers, because what else would I be doing if I didn't say that they're going to win against the Panthers? And I think the Flyers, we've seen them in the past. They lost this past season against the Flyers to the Flyers. The Panthers lost. So I'm hoping that the Panthers come back on this game and they take the win on Sunday.
Give me the Cats clean sweep this week as well, just like the Miami Heat. Fast forward to Inter Miami. They're currently 3-1-1 on a 2-game win streak, and they do go up against the New York Red Bulls on Saturday. Nikki, let me guess.
No, this game I'm gonna have to go with Inter Miami. We're hoping that we'll see Lionel Messi out there and play in a game.
Hoping Lionel Messi does return for the Inter Miami, and I got the Inter Miami taking that one as well. Just a reminder that if you want to keep up with updates, fun segments, and more from our crew, you can follow our Instagram for all things Sideline. Follow us at sideline.caplin.
That's it for today. I'm Nicolette Esper.
And I'm Jamie Nunez. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on the Sideline.